Starting this week, any South Dakota resident who is 16 years old or older can now receive a COVID-19 vaccine.
On the Night Beat, KOLOR's Dan Santella talks with the state epidemiologist as well as the Secretary of Health about what young people and their parents should know. Good evening, Dan.
Hey, Don. According to Centers for Disease Control data organized by the New York Times, South Dakota is sixth among states when it comes to the percent of people receiving at least one shot. For percent fully vaccinated, South Dakota is second among states. I asked both Secretary of Health Kim Malsom-Risden and state epidemiologist Josh Clayton what young people and parents should know about that new availability.
I think it's very important that people understand that the same processes that we have for every vaccine to ensure that they are safe was used for these vaccines as well.
I think it's important to take a look at the vaccine and understand that the vaccine is safe and effective, that we have vaccinated many South Dakotans with very few side effects, most of those side effects being very mild. That leads to pain at the injection site, some swelling, maybe a little headache and that sort of stuff.
Of course, COVID-19 hits people in drastically different ways. Malsom-Risden brings up a trend that can impact anyone.
While we know that COVID tends to impact older folks, more severely, younger people can get COVID. They can get sick from COVID. They can have long-term, serious outcomes from COVID. And finally, they can spread COVID. And so it's important that young people take this seriously, that they, get vaccinated so that they can minimize their, impact of potentially spreading COVID to folks who might be more vulnerable.
There's also a considerable amount of misinformation out there about these vaccines.
There's a lot of people with other agendas out there that you really do need to understand the source of the information that you're looking at. And even sometimes when that's friends and family, their sources might not be, the best.
The secretary says to seek out information from credible outlets.
So, don't leave it to other people. Do your research. That there's a lot of information out there, but go to a reputable source. And I think you'll find what we've been telling people, and that is that these vaccines are safe and that they are effective.
A coronavirus vaccine tracker by the Washington Post and National Public Radio says South Dakota could reach full vaccination of 50% of the state's population by May 31st. It could reach 85% by August 18th.
All right. Thanks a lot, Dan. We've got a lot